Thank you, dear friends, for tuning into the Family Enrichment Hub. Thank you for loving our channel. Thank you for liking and thank you for the lovely comments. This is Stella Obokelo, your host, and today I have the honor to be sharing with us on money matters within the family. A familiar story is told of a couple that started out life together and they were renting a house. And unknown to the husband, the house was actually belonging to his wife. And like the Bible tells us, that whatever is done in the darkness will eventually be brought to the light. The day finally came when the truth was revealed, and the husband got to know that all this time he had been paying rent, and the wife was the beneficiary of this rent. That relationship was not left the same because of insincerity on the part of the wife. Research studies have also shown that 77% of couples are not comfortable discussing money matters within their relationships, and only 23% are comfortable discussing money matters within their families. And like they said, unity within the family is what creates harmony. A lack of unity in the family in regard to money is a leading cause of so much pain within families, which eventually leads to divorce amongst couples. Friends, money matters are heart matters. Money matters come from the heart. And you can be able to tell a healthy relationship just from the way they manage their money. And you can also tell an unhealthy relationship just from the way that a couple manages their money. And on that note, friends, allow me share a few pain areas which cause money fights amongst couples. And the first one is the weak foundation. For many couples, they find themselves in committed relationships before they have discussed money matters. When you don't discuss money matters at the point of courtship, it becomes a pain area for you later within your relationship. And then for those of us who have come from backgrounds of insincerity, where you've watched parents dealing insincerely on matters regarding money, chances are you will play out the same because that is the environment that you grew up in. And then also infidelity within the relationship usually affects money relationships. Where a partner commits adultery, it affects the dynamics of that relationship. Nothing remains the same in the relationship, and so money will be a major cause of fights within that family. And then lack of a financial vision. If you don't have a financial vision that you share together as a family, chances are you will be struggling. You will have so many fights because you don't have a sense of direction with regard to money. And then traditional beliefs and egos. There are people who have very huge egos. They cannot imagine sitting to have a discussion with their wife or with their husband with regard to money. And so if you have that kind of mentality, chances are there will be regular fights with regard to money within your family. And then the pressure from the in-laws. If you don't manage pressure from the in-laws very, very smartly as a couple, truth be told, they can raise a lot of hell within your family. And so you need to stand together as a family, as a couple, in order to manage the pressure and the expectation from in-laws with regard to money. And then another area is the power struggles. I've met families where a husband and wife struggle just because the husband is not comfortable for the wife to be earning a higher pay than him. And so if you have that kind of mentality, chances are as your wife is rising, as your wife is earning more and more money, it will be causing serious pains amongst yourselves just because of your power struggles. And then also where one partner is working and another partner is not working, it may in some instances cause undue pressure. It may cause discomfort. It will cause a lot of stress with regard to money because you're basically surviving on the salary or the income which is coming in from just one partner. And then also the area of peer pressure and influence. Many people have fallen victim of influence from their friends, influence from colleagues, influence from siblings. You find yourselves in issues to do with all these years. This is just how far you've reached. What is happening to your family? Something is wrong in your family. And if you're not very careful and balanced, you will raise this pressure within your family, and this will lead to uncomfortable money fights within your family. And where one partner gets involved in gambling within the family, this can also be a source of money fights, because money which is supposed to be supporting the family is being diverted into unnecessary activities within the casinos. And where alcohol also comes into play within a relationship, abuse of alcohol can be a leading cause of financial fights within the family. And so, friends, on that note, allow me share a few tips that can help us in order to navigate the issues of money and help us to manage money matters better and smarter within our families. And the first one that I highly recommend is that we need to be united as a couple, have a common purpose. The Bible teaches in Philippians chapter 2 verse 2, be united in purpose. Have a common purpose. If you don't have a common purpose as a couple, as a family, chances are you will be in ugly fights every other day. But if you have a common purpose in everything that you do, if you have agreements, chances are you will have sorted out many of the ugly money fights that happen within couples. And I also know for a fact that where there is harmony between a couple, where there is peace, where there is unity, where there is agreement, that relationship will be a successful relationship. And so money matters will not be an issue of fighting within that family. Have shared financial goals. Agree on things to do with vacations. Agree on how you manage children's tuition and school fees. Agree on what you do for extra income generating activities. Agree on what the direction for your family is with regard to finances. For us here as a family, every year we sit and just review what have we accomplished within the year. What do we want to do in the coming year? We agree before the year begins, and so that helps us to avoid undue pressure and unnecessary money expectations, because we have a sense of direction of what exactly we want to do with our money in the coming year. And then also allow some independence amongst yourselves. There are activities that we get involved in outside which are not shared activities. It could be groups, it could be church activities, it could be clubs. We get involved in many of these things where we are not necessarily together as a couple. Allow each other some space to have some money in order to maintain those relationships. And then another thing that we can consider, dear friends, involve your spouse in all your financial engagements. Don't allow to find yourself in a situation where you're taking money decisions without sharing, without discussing, without soliciting the input of your spouse. It's always very important to have the blessing of your spouse in whatever you're going to do. I run a mobile money shop, but also stationery and cosmetics shop as well. But in that shop, every time that my husband has a quick need for money, for mobile money, is the only person who is allowed to call the shop and pick money without my permission. He simply calls and money is sent to him, because I know when he gets the money, he will be able to pay it back. And so my husband is indirectly involved like that in the running of our mobile money shop. He is in the know of everything that happens within the shop. And then another thing, friends, that can help us, for those of us who are having money fights, we need to go back and correct the foundation. How did we start out as a couple? Did we discuss money matters explicitly? Did we talk about what our expectations are? Did we talk about what we are going to be doing together with regard to money as a couple? If we didn't have those honest conversations, we can still do it even as a couple right now. Correct the foundation, because like they say, if the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? You cannot build a strong building on a weak foundation. You have to correct the foundation, and then you'll be able to build a correct building against a strong foundation. And dear friends, where there is no open communication within a relationship, money matters will struggle. And so you need to make sure that the environment in your home encourages open communication. You're free to share and discuss anything together as a couple, including money. But where you're not open, where you're not comfortable discussing things together, trust me, you will have issues. And so, dear friends, allow open communication amongst yourselves. Be comfortable to discuss anything and just about everything with your spouse. Because if there are things you can't discuss with your spouse, certainly it means even money matters. There are things that you will hide and conceal to yourself, which your spouse will not be able to know. When I used to work in the bank, a few times when they would send us our statements from NSSF and then our local gratuity scheme within the bank, I was always excited, and many times would be cancelled. They would tell us, please don't discuss this with your spouses, leave this information just for yourself. But for me, as somebody who has a different financial orientation, I was always eager and excited to reach home and share with my husband. Do you know how much we have in NSSF? Do you know how much we have in the pension scheme? I was always excited because for us here, there is nothing we don't discuss openly. Issues to do with money. I know how much my husband is earning. I know the allowances he gets every time he travels. I know whatever monies are coming in from where, because of open communication. And so, dear friends, allow open communication within your relationship. It will help you to address the money fights that will actually ensue if you don't allow that. And then also be transparent in all money dealings, really. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to invest in, whatever undertaking you want to engage in, kindly engage your spouse. Get the consent, get the views of your spouse. Don't do anything without the blessing of your spouse. That is one thing I have noticed. For you to succeed, you need the blessing of your spouse. And so, dear friends, we could also consider counseling. For those of us who feel like you have done it all, you have talked, you've done everything, and somehow nothing seems to be happening in order to fix the money matters within your family, you could involve a trusted third party. You could bring in a neutral person who can be able to help you and give you a sense of direction and help you to navigate and manage your money matters better within your family. Friends, as I conclude, they say it's impossible to disagree and succeed. Like the Bible teaches in Luke chapter 11 verse 17, that a kingdom divided against itself will eventually be destroyed, and a house divided against itself will not stand. Friends, if you are not agreeing where money is concerned within your family, it's a matter of time and it will all come crumbling down. And like they say, two cannot work together unless they've agreed. So if you've agreed to work together as a family, as a couple, you better agree where issues of money are concerned. I recently read a book called The Top 10 Secrets of Entrepreneurs by Keith Cameron, and something struck me so much in that book. Keith Cameron said, a good marriage does not just happen without a vision to make it happen. Good health does not just happen without a vision to make it happen. And so financial freedom doesn't just happen without a vision to make it happen. And it says, vision makes everything happen. Dear friends, what is the vision you have for your family? What is the vision you have for your family with regard to money matters? Paint a beautiful picture. Paint a big picture for your family. Envision success. See yourselves thriving financially within your family and begin to work towards that, because a good marriage does not just happen. Money matters do not just work out by themselves. It takes two to tango. It takes two to make it work. Thank you, dear friends, for listening to us. Thank you for loving our channel. I encourage those of us who have not yet liked and subscribed, kindly do so. And together, we shall change our society through the family. God bless you. Bye.